And he's back tonight. Ronald Acuña back on a big league field, 40-plus home runs, 70-plus stolen bases, 2 years ago? What?
3 days shy of the 1 year anniversary.
Of 1 year.
That's a big deal.
Tore his ACL.
That's a big deal.
What are you expecting, guys, from him tonight and these early games?
I'm expecting fireworks.
Hey, you see what he did in his rehab?
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting the same thing.
We were the only ones who saw it, though. There weren't that many people there, but he was acting like there was a crowd. I love it.
He was playing.
Listen.
That's right.
He was doing dance.
He was.
Dance. All the AAA players, they were all looking at him like, what's this guy's doing? What is going on right now?
That's how the big league players look at him. He does things other guys can't do. He goes right back into the leadoff spot tonight for Snicker.
Absolutely.
He sets the world on fire.
I would put him leadoff. Let's go. Let's do it, big boy. But I'll tell you this.
Dig me session here?
Yeah, this is, when you're struggling, the problem is, he's never really struggled. And then the dig me sessions are things that nobody else does.
Yeah.
But I will say this. God, the Braves couldn't be happier to get somebody like this because they're hot. I mean, the last 2 weeks, and we can roll this tape right now. They've got some dudes.
Olsen,
Riley, Baldwin. I mean, you look at Ozuna, what he's done the last 2 weeks. It's been 344 with 11 RBIs. Michael Harris, sneaky 30 RBIs. How about this guy, Olsen? I mean, Riley's he's usually a slow starter. He's on fire. How about this rookie?
They weathered an 0-7 start.
Yes.
Got back to, they're going to be fine.
Look at this. Look at this. This is unbelievable. And by the way, we left some guys out there, but they're about to go get an absolute stud. I mean, you look at Ronald Acuña, and by the way, I love what he's doing right now in spring training. He's slimmed down. He's made some changes mechanically, which I really like, simplify some stuff. And we'll go into who this guy is. It reminds me of the Braves, the Bad Boys, like the movie. They're back. They're about to do some crazy stuff. And this is when he got hurt. May 26th, 3 days prior to the year. That's a big deal for players that get hurt, especially with these type of injuries. Yeah. Being back before a year's set. But I think he learned from this second one, right? And I always wanted to check off, okay, why did it only take 20 at-bats and you send them up? The Braves wanted him, but you got to check the boxes, right? To be able to say, okay, he's ready, check all the boxes. Here's a single, all right? We're going to check him off with a single, goes around, does his dance, does his thing. Okay, we're good. I want to see him on defense. Can he hit a ball to right center and make a play? We saw he could make a play. We know the arm is still there, right? So, all right, so he catches that. Check the box right there. I want to see a double that he has to go and kind of hustle. We see the swing.
What's crazy to me, Yonder, is when you watch his swing, you would think he'd have a hole with a high elevated heater.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
He
doesn't.
He gets to it.
And then you see the dig me with the one-handed. Boom! You've been to Gwinnett. That's a bomb. That's a fall. I mean, you got to go dead central there. That is an absolute tank.
Look at the knee brace outside the pen.
Yeah, a little Tony Hawk skateboardish action. But here's my thing. When I look at the side angle, number one, he looks slimmer. Number two, he looks stronger. But he simplified his swing. Remember this? I'm sorry, Lance Lynn, that I'm doing this to you.
Top of the zone
but this was 120 miles an hour off the bat. And this ball was absolutely nuked, okay? And you always wonder coming back from camp. Pause it right here. Take it back a little bit. You always wonder, as you're coming back from injury, D-Ro, I want to have that same feeling. I want to have that same swing. I want to have that same swagger. And you can pull this. Look how he uses his hands here and how connected he is with his lower half. I mean, his connection is bam, one move. And he looks like he's 6'5" at the plate. Remember, this guy's only like 5'11". But this is what I like about it. You go to camp and you start fixing things. You start simplifying things. I just look at the hands. Hands are a little bit lower here. Hands are a little bit higher here.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, something so simple. Everything else is the same. He used to kind of go down and then up and then at it. He simplified that. He's made all that shorter so we can roll this tape. I think this is why we're going to get the best of Acuña early on because his moves are so simple and he's so explosive. But what I like is what he can be and who he can
be. You think he'll run?
I think he's not going to run as much. Yeah. But I think the pop is going to be there.
They have
I think he's going to be for average. They got to tell him, hey, tranquilo.
I don't know if he's capable. I think that's the hardest thing to do is to tell someone, hey, we need you to calm it down a little bit.
I think he's learned. This is his second one. He's going to learn. One thing's for sure, though, the Bad Boys are back. I mean, the whole crew is back. They're going to run this out.
Yeah.
You know the exit velocity on this guy? Look at this. I mean, these are dudes right here. These are dudes. This
The
is what
thing about Ronald, when I watch him in the box, and we've chronicled this, he's the one guy, there's not many guys that do this at the plate that can get here, go back, get almost like drop, and get in the zone right here and still bat speed to handle the height.
I remember seeing him for the first time in camp, and I remember saying, oh my goodness, I was in the same batting practice group. He hit every ball to right field,
center.
home run, every ball. And I talked to him about hitting. You know, he loads with his lower half. He doesn't load with his hands. That's why you really can't pitch him up, because all his loads comes from his hips, and everything's just out for the run. It's all hips load, and then from there it's just explode.
And speak to when he comes walking in the door.
Oh.
You know, he's got the Braves bag over his shoulder, and he comes in, his locker set up.
You know what the Braves are thinking?
It changes
They're running.
everything.
They're going to run the division.
Yeah.
That's what they're
We'll
thinking.
see.
They're not thinking about we're going to win tonight. We're going to run the whole thing.